CVille Show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on a Monday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville. A lot we're going to cover on the broadcast today. This is the water cooler content and conversation for Charlottesville, for Albemarle County, for Central Virginia, and the Commonwealth. I think you've noticed this, kind of expanding our content verticals to include more of a Commonwealth-wide audience, and it's working. New audience members are joining us. We still localize the content to Albemarle County, Charlottesville, Central Virginia, and UVA, but we do it through a now more broad lens, if you may. Some topics that I find compelling for today's show. Craig Kent, the former highest paid employee at the University of Virginia, has now filed a $34 million defamation lawsuit. Yep. Craig Kent is fighting back, and he comes guns a-blazing. We'll talk about Craig Kent and his defamation lawsuit on the I Love CVille show today. There is chatter. I'm curious if Albemarle County parents can officially confirm. There is chatter that Erika Kirk, the wife of the late Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA, is coming to Crozet, Virginia, to speak at the Western Albemarle High School Turning Point USA chapter. That's something we have to talk about on the show. The Turning Point USA Western Albemarle chapter was the one that had Allison Spillman, the at-large school board member in Albemarle County, using Ku Klux Klan comparisons of students. And the speaker last year that spoke with Western's TPUSA chapter, not nearly the clout, influence, national notoriety of Erika Kirk, who, just this week was at the State of the Union and was recognized by Donald Trump in front of the entire world with his State of the Union address. Erika Kirk is the face of the movement now. How is Albemarle County, Virginia? How is Charlottesville, Virginia? How is the University of Virginia? And how is the Commonwealth going to respond if Erika Kirk does speak at Western Albemarle High School? That's a topic we're going to cover today on the show. We're going to talk former police chief Dr. Rochelle Brackney. She can't help but be in the news. She's the newly minted police chief in Jackson, Mississippi. And in her official confirmation to become the police chief in Jackson, Mississippi, she had some nasty commentary about the Charlottesville Police Department. Now, it's important for me to caveat this. Her commentary about the Charlottesville Police Department pertained to her time in Charlottesville and specifically her time with what she thought was cleaning house of her department. It does not, her commentary, pertain to the current police department, which is led by a fantastic human being, a pros pro, and Mike Hodges. We'll relay what Rochelle Brackney had to say. I got some programming notes for you. JerryRatcliffe.com. JerryHootieRatcliffe.com is a Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. His content model, and he's been in this business for 40 years as a newspaper journalist. He's a Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. He's won more awards than most people can count. Jesus, he's won so many awards. His content model is going to a subscriber-paid model. I want to offer some perspective on JerryRatcliffe.com and transitioning from a free content to a subscriber-paid model on today's show. We're going to also talk Desayuna con Gomez, permanently closing on Long Street. What you want to do is you want to group the headlines correctly. So if you want to transition the Desayuna con Gomez restaurant headline up a slot and put the Duke basketball headline next to the Jerry Ratcliffe one, so the sports are grouped together, kind of like a section of a newspaper. Just a friendly suggestion there. I'll talk about the Gomez family. They're friends of mine, Kevin and Miguel Gomez, fantastic racket sports players, fantastic athletes, Monticello High School graduates. Their food truck, which is on the base of Pantops, has been wildly successful. They now have a second point of sale on Ivy Road in that vacant parking lot kind of across from the Boar's Head, or catty corner to the Boar's Head. They opened a brick and mortar storefront. I scratched my head when they opened the brick and mortar storefront. They kicked the tires on a business brokerage listing that I had, Moe's on Ivy Road, when Moe's was owned by Mike and Ashley Abrams. The Gomez brothers came in and toured the restaurant when Mike and Ashley Abrams were the owners, and I was helping sell the business. They did not purchase the business, but soon thereafter they did open a brick and mortar. Was the old Doodles Cafe located there? I think that was the home to the old Doodles Cafe at the base of Pantops. You would think
Doodles is still there.
Doodles is still there? What used to be where?
On the edge. I don't know what was there.
Viewers and listeners, what used to be at Desayuna con Gomez, the restaurant? And YouTube's good to go? The right way?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
It always
good.
is.
Well, but it's set up with the right settings?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Like and share the show. Carol Thorpe, hello. We got thousands of folks here on the feed. A lot we're going to cover on the program. We encourage you, the viewer and listener, to help shape the show. I want to give some props to our friends at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply and Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company, Judah. John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion are 5 generations strong in Albemarle County, and their business is 3 generations strong. It's located on East High Street, but they have an e-commerce website online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com where you can buy anything cleaning related, vacuum related, sanitary related for your home, your residence, your business, and the product will be delivered to your doorstep often the day of and at zero charge to you. charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com, and consider their sister company, Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company, for anything swimming pool related. They service our family swimming pool at our house, water testing, pool robots, swimming pool covers, any kind of machinery, installation, creation, building, above ground, in ground, charlottesvilleswimmingpoolcompany.com. Studio camera, Judah Wickower, and then we'll go to a 2-shot. I'm going to ask you which headline is most intriguing to you. I would imagine the Erika Kirk headline is going to get a lot of people talking. I'll highlight where I got the information, the tidbit about Erika Kirk on the show today. My friend, the program is yours now with a lot of people watching. What intrigues you today and why?
Yeah, Erika Kirk coming to Charlottesville is going to create quite the uproar, and frankly, I'm here for it.
Conan Owen is watching the program. This is right up your alley. Conan says Doodles was on the far end, opposite Little Caesars, which became a second kitchen for DYG for the past 8 months or so. What used to be Desayuna con Gomez, Conan Owen? What was the restaurant before? And you don't go in the weeds on that, looking for that. We'll do the talk show. The viewers and listeners will find that for us. Rob Neal says that Doodles also appears to be closed. I don't know for sure, but it certainly looks that way, that Doodles Diner is closed. Does anyone know? What's that, Judah?
I concur. I haven't seen.
Actually, it's on Google. It says permanently closed on Google.
Yeah, I
so
haven't seen
if
either
someone
of those open in a long time.
If someone is going to, if the Google profile says permanently closed on it, that's been updated by the business owner who has control of the Google business profile with a code that's mailed to the location. So it looks like Doodles Diner is closed, and now Desayuna de Gomez is closed in that same shopping center.
Con Gomez.
It's closed. It doesn't matter. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll cut to the chase. There's a handful, and it's not my place to make these announcements, although I think you're going to start seeing them happening now. There's nearly a dozen additional restaurants in Charlottesville and Albemarle County that are going to be closing in the next 60 to 90 days. And why I mention that to you is because, the line of work of what we do, where we broker the sale of businesses and help commercial entities get in and out of leases, that's how we have the information. Not my information to put out there. It will come out in the very near future. I think we should highlight the Craig Kent storyline first. Do you want to set the stage for this, Judah Wickower? The embattled Craig Kent, the former CEO of UVA Health. He resigned under tremendous duress. He was in a lot of ways the fall guy for the alleged white-collar racketeering.
I mean, is fall guy the right term, considering the fact that he was alleged to have been at the head of it?
What term would you use?
I mean, a fall guy is usually someone that takes the fall for someone who's actually guilty of the crime. And if he was in charge, and the lawsuits are alleging that he was in charge and the one responsible for all the stuff.
So you're saying fall guy doesn't work for somebody that's the leader of an organization that allegedly did criminal behavior?
Like I said, fall guy is usually the person that takes the fall for someone else.
Okay, so I'll rephrase. The alleged
Ringleader?
okay, that's better. That's 100% better. 100% better.
Hopefully he doesn't sue us for...
We're using the word alleged. And obviously that wouldn't be strategic to say that either. It's like my son. I hope I don't hurt myself when I put my finger in this electrical outlet. That's what Judah just did right there. The alleged ringleader, we'll use the word alleged again, is Craig Kent. He is now a $34 million, filed a $34 million defamation lawsuit. And this lawsuit is suing a group of lawyers, a 50-page complaint, the former CEO of UVA Health, the man that resigned under tremendous duress in a nondescript Board of Visitors meeting at nighttime after attorneys presented to the BOV their findings of an investigation. Mm-hmm. The findings of this investigation alleged to include white-collar racketeering tactics such as profits over patients, performing medical procedures that were extremely dangerous and life-threatening despite not having the resources and the personnel on hand to execute them, alleged medical chart changing to maintain performance standards and national rankings. I mean, allegedly keeping hospital beds free of COVID patients because the financial margin, the profits associated with treating COVID patients paled in comparison with elective surgeries where the margins were much fatter and sweeter. Backroom wheeling and dealing, leveraging of power and promotions to maintain rank and file employees towing the company line and doing what he said and his C-suite said. I mean, you're talking some of the nastiest of nastiest, allegedly. $34 million. What strikes you from this, Judah, as you kind of setting the table for the viewers and listeners?
Well, what strikes me is that he's suing the lawyers, which somebody smarter than us will have to chime in about.
Well, I think I know the reason to that.
Probably because they have money. But,
no, that's not why. You're saying why is he suing the lawyers?
I mean,
it
basically says that he alleges that the group of lawyers launched a defamatory campaign to oust him from his position. But if the lawyers were doing the work based on the signed 128 physician-signed letter of no confidence, I mean, it sounds to me like he's aiming wide and is likely to miss, but I could be way off.
So here's what I think is happening here. Craig Kent got a bag of money to leave the University of Virginia, and he resigned under duress. And he resigned under duress because he's hedging risk instead of potentially getting fired. And as part of that resignation, I've been told by multiple people that he received a huge sum of money, millions of dollars, to leave. Mm-hmm. And as part of that huge sum of money, millions of dollars, I've been told by people, there was documentation signed that if you want to take this money, you're not going to bring anything legal against the University of Virginia. So he can't sue the main entity that's got the billions of dollars, the UVA, entity or its health system because he said, I want this upfront money on my way out the door.
Right.
Signed documentation. Now he's looking
Seems a bit
to
short-sighted.
now he's looking to clear. Why short-sighted? Tell me why that would be short-sighted. A 60-year-old man taking millions of dollars that has limited runway with his employment because of his age?
I mean, if he wanted more.
He wasn't going to win anyway. The documentation seems to be pretty damning.
Yeah.
And regardless, the documentation was so damning, the likelihood of rehire again, I don't think was that high. So he makes the decision mentally, let me at least get millions of dollars now. I can then set up myself, my family, my kids, and whoever else I want. And then down the road, if I want to bring lawsuit, I can do it. I think this play right here of what Craig Kent is doing is trying to win a media game. He's going to spend a little bit of that money to try to say, hey, that wasn't me. This is about winning the battle of perception. The likelihood from my standpoint, I'm no lawyer. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express. But the likelihood of him getting money from other attorneys seems few and far between. It seems like he's playing a perception game. Let me see if I can convolute Google rank and search engines by having headlines that say, I'm not to blame here. This is wrong. He's trying to win the legacy game, the what's on your tombstone and your gravestone game. Not if you can't sue UVA, what are you really doing here?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And maybe he's saying, I'll spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, whatever the attorney retainer is, 6 figures in retainers and legal fees, and I can at least preserve some of my legacy by papering the digital trail with my side of the story, which it's not me who's to blame. But by not including the University of Virginia in this defamation lawsuit, it's pretty crystal clear to me that the documentation that he signed when he took the bag of money upon leaving UVA said, I can never bring a lawsuit against you, which is smart for the University of Virginia. I mean, the University of Virginia basically gave its former top employee single-digit millions of dollars, which seems like a lot of money to us, which is a lot of money to us. But to the University of Virginia, they spit single $1 million. That's 30 minutes of work. And then they got a guy that had all the deep, dark skeletons in the closet and kept them from bringing it against him, against the entity. Mm. So you want an interesting read. Anything else strike you from that story?
I mean, he's going after all the lawyers. Again, I don't know how viable this is. You're right. He's probably just trying to paper the trail, make his name look a little bit better. But I don't know.
Deep Throat, number 1 in the family, his photo on screen. Deep Throat says, welcome back, Deep Throat. Suing opposing counsel for defamation for making a legal claim is essentially a non-starter based on everything I understand about defamation.
That's what I would thought.
He also says legal filings enjoy absolute privilege. It seems to me, Deep Throat, curious of your thoughts. Jim Hingley, I'm curious of your thoughts. Doubt Mr. Hingley would comment on this. He does watch and listen to the show. I trust the man's opinion tremendously. John Blair, very curious of your thoughts. It seems to me what Ken is doing is spending some money with lawyers to pepper the digital trail, where if his next of kin or the generation after that or whoever searches his name, they will see that, oh, there's another side of the story that's not being told.
Yeah, the most recent news will be this.
That's my take. And if you look, Dr. Craig Kent is also playing the digital game, and we do this for clients, ladies and gentlemen. He has a website, drcraigkent.com, that shows a top search engines when you type in Dr. Craig Kent into Google. So he is clearly paying somebody. I'm now on Dr. Craig Kent, which is number 1 on the Google rank. I'm then going to go, I'm on a Mac, I'm going to go Control View Page Source, an easy way for me to look at the back-end code. I'm on the back-end code. I see Dr. Craig Kent's name coded into the back-end code on a WordPress managed website. It's a very simple CMS. We use this one all the time. The theme is readily available. He's got a WordPress CMS content management system that has been put together by some kind of professional company like mine. And they've keyworded the bejeebus out of this. So when you type in Dr. Craig Kent into Google, it shows up #1 on rank. That's called public relations management. You hire a firm like mine to try to win the SEO game when your name is pumped into a search engine, and you try to smoke and mirror first page Google because you know the average Joe and the average Sally and the average Laura and the average Jennifer do not go past page 1. And now once this defamation suit is out there, it's going to further push down some of the negativity against him on search. And maybe he's like, I'm super effing rich. I'll just spend some money with some attorneys to convolute the search engine, to convolute search ranking. Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Curious of John Blair's take on this one. Very curious. Jim Hingley, if you're willing to chat on this, I'm curious of your take. I don't think you will on this one. Anything else you want to add there, Judah?
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of them are pushing back. The head of, not the head, Jones Swanson Huddle LLC claimed that Dr. Kent is wrong about the circumstances of his departure. Goes on to say that it was the Board of Visitors and President Jim Ryan that demanded his resignation, not the law firm, and basically saying that Ryan wrote that there were sufficient concerns about leadership and trust that Dr. Kent recognized would make it difficult to remain in this position, which is why he stepped down. I mean,
straight up, Jim Ryan said in the record on a statement that it's sketchy.
Yeah.
At best, sketchy.
And the lawyers representing Kent, Kibbe, and Horton, as well as the surgical chair, Alan Sung, have already filed a motion to dismiss the racketeering claims in mid-January, and a hearing is scheduled in Charlottesville for May.
Handsome Hank Martin watching the program. Love when Handsome Hank Martin watches the show. He says, talk about his photo on screen, Handsome Hank Martin. Talk about a no-win scenario. UVA now sits in the center of a legal and moral dilemma. Lawsuits from patients and families, and now a lawsuit involving Craig Kent himself. This isn't some distant corporate scandal, but it's our community's flagship institution, which ironically was cited by Newsweek yesterday as the best medical center in Virginia.
Yep.
Our hospital, Handsome Hank says, with our loved ones and neighbors are on those gurneys and families in those waiting rooms. So what is it? Audacity, hubris, greed, so blinding he thought no one would ever look behind the curtain, or a final act of desperation that risks dragging the entire medical center under Ryan into the blast radius. One can almost hear, was it Ennio Morricone's The Ecstasy of Gold building as in the final scene of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Only this isn't Tuco, Blondie, and Angel Eyes in a dusty cemetery, but patients, families, an institution, and a powerful executive. The prize isn't a coffin full of gold, but truth. Truth always costs more than anyone expects, but this community deserves it. Handsome Hank, welcome to the team.
Love the Ennio Morricone reference.
Deep Throat says, before we get off topic, also this claim would have a problem under the Virginia, quote, anti-SLAPP, quote, statute, matter of public interest communicated to a public body, UVA BOV. You can tell Deep Throat is in constantly dealing with lawyers in his day job. I would love a take from John if he's watching. Oh, John is watching. Let's see if we got a take from, he posted it 1 minute ago. John Blair says, his photo on screen, without reading the suit, I think Deep Throat is correct. There's an extremely high hurdle to overcome privileges in terms of defamation. Saying that, I would point out that you and I said back in December and January that the entire BOV saga wasn't over yet, even with Spanberger taking office. And here we are. and I suspect there is still one more note that you'll hear in the entire Ryan BOV UVA saga for someone who should know. What is that note, John? That's a hell of a tease right there. Give us that note. Is that the Beardsley? Is that the rumor mill involving Beardsley's job security, John? Give me one tease in the comment section, John Blair. You got my appetite whetted right here, and I'm dying to know what that tease is, my friend. And Blair's as connected as anyone in this community. He is as connected as anyone. I would love to know what that meant right there, John. John Blair is communicating with the I Love CVille Network and the viewers and listeners and responding on LinkedIn to a comment that was sent by Deep Throat on Twitter in direct message capacity. That's called crowdsourcing content for the betterment of the viewer and listener, right there. Carol Thorpe, welcome to the show. Print, radio, and television is all over the broadcast. Logan Wells-Clalo, Maria Marshall-Barnes, Johnny Ornalis. Love Johnny Ornalis. Mexicali restaurant. Johnny Ornalis. He's got something really, really good going. Anything else you want to add there, Judah Wickhauer?
No.
All right. Oh, Jim Hingley is watching. Jim Hingley sends a text. Craig Kent's lawyers do not have absolute immunity for their filing. Jim Hingley says they are accountable to proceed in good faith with factual allegations to be made after reasonable investigation. There can be sanctions if the complaint is not filed in good faith. Gosh, I love you, Jim Hingley. Give you a flying chest bump. I try to pour you some top-level scotch here, but I think it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you would say, Jerry, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I would do that as a show of gratitude for you offering your beautiful brain to the viewers and listeners. Jim Hingley says, Craig Kent's lawyers do not have absolute immunity for their filing. They are accountable to proceed in good faith with factual allegations to be made after reasonable investigation. There can be sanctions if the complaint is not filed in good faith. I'll ask you this question, Jim. The attorneys know that, right?
Of course they would.
These attorneys are pros that are hired by 128 anonymous doctors that are paid a lot of money and also know the risk and exposure with anything they do that is alleged white-collar racketeering and RICO in a health system that's doing billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. The anonymous 128 are basically whistleblowers. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine they would have tread carefully, right, Mr. Hingley? You would think. I know that's an assumption. Curious of anything else you could offer there. All right, we'll go to the next topic, and then we'll relay more information that's coming here. We got bubbles coming from Jim here via text message. Nice. Text message bubbles. I'm gonna, because of his significance and because of his intelligence, I will wait for those text message bubbles to materialize. All right, let me go to the next topic because the bubbles are percolating here. The next topic is Erika Kirk. This is a wild story. Are we in the epicenter of? I'll tell you what. Of late, being a content creator, this is not what we do as our revenue driver, but it is the most noteworthy thing that we do. I'm driving to our kids' school today in the morning to drop our second grader off in the kid drop-off line. And I'm listening to the morning show with Jay James. And he has Dr. Kate Cuff, the chairwoman of the Albemarle County School Board, on the show. And it's like radio, they do the real short interviews because they have the commercials. They cannot do the long-form content. Mm-hmm. He's got like 12 minutes with Kate Cuff. Maybe 14 minutes with Kate Cuff. And at the end of this 14 or 15 minutes, I don't know why he did not lead with this. This was literally in like the final 2 minutes of the interview. He says, oh, by the way, Erika Kirk is coming to Western Albemarle High School and TPUSA.
Can we get a confirmation on that?
And that, if I'm hosting, and Jay's phenomenal. Jay's phenomenal at what he does.
No doubt.
How Jay goes about the morning show talk show is different than mine. It's a morning show. It's drive time. It's lighter with content. He also has commercial breaks and doesn't have the long form. I would have led the interview with Kata Cuff about Erika Kirk, the face of TPUSA and the wife of the late Charlie Kirk, coming to Crozet to speak to students at Western Albemarle High School. That seems like the lead. And the print and radio television that's watching this program right now, you should be covering that. Mr. Hingley, I'm going to get to your text here in a matter of moments, as will I get to John Blair's comment here in a matter of moments. And if Deep Throat, you have anything else to add, put it in the feed. I would imagine yours is on Craig Ken as well. Actually, John Blair is responding to Jim Hingley's text, so I'm going to get to that in a matter of moments. Can any viewer and listener that's watching this program officially confirm with me that Erika Kirk is speaking at Western Albemarle High School's Turning Point USA chapter? That's what was said this morning by Jay James to Dr. Kata Cuff, the Albemarle County School Board member, and she responded that we were still waiting to get official confirmation on this, but we have the processes in place for this potential speaker. That's how she responded. Kata Cuff. She said, we are still waiting to get official confirmation on this, but we have the processes in place to manage this potential speaker. I'm paraphrasing. Erika Kirk speaking at Western Albemarle High School, a high school within Albemarle County Public Schools, is akin to what kind of speaker speaking in Albemarle?
Akin to what type of speaker?
Is akin to what level of...
Highly,
It's obviously not on the level of Donald Trump, not even close, speaking in Albemarle County.
I don't know.
Okay.
I would think that some of the people would treat it fairly similarly.
Okay, so I'll ask you, the viewer and listener. Go ahead.
I think we're about to see a lot of adults acting like children.
Okay, that's what I want to know. This is the first question I have for the viewers and listeners. Handsome Hank Martin, and I'm going to get to Jim Hingley's comments and John Blair's comments on this. Dr. John Shabe of Pro Renata, Bob Yarborough, the King of Redfields. This is right up your alley. Supervisor Michael Pruitt, Bill Chapman, Katie Mullins. We'll give Katie Mullins some props at 919 Druid Avenue. 919 Druid Avenue is officially live in Belmont. I want to give some props to Katie Mullins. I thought your video of 919 Druid Avenue was fantastic. You did a fantastic job with your social media per usual. $699,000 list price. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, nearly 2,200 square feet in Belmont for a completely remodeled home that's gorgeous, that has a basement income producing apartment. This house will be $800,000 in a handful of years, folks. The work that was put into this by her team, taking a non-loadable house that couldn't be sold, revitalizing it and making it loanable, props to you, Katie. Big ups, big ups. Erika Kirk is akin to what type of speaker speaking in Albemarle County? I'm talking from a bombastic standpoint, from a response eliciting standpoint. I don't think it's on the same playing field as if Donald Trump was speaking at Western Albemarle High School, obviously. You disagree?
I think it's pretty close. I mean...
So you think that's the most close comparison?
I think the further we get into Trump's presidency, the more everyone who is left of whatever people consider the left, whoever's right of whatever people consider the left, are pretty much smashed together, bunched together as one entity. I don't know that there's a whole lot of ability to see gradations of. I think the people that I was talking about, the adults who are going to be acting like children, do not see a large difference in anyone they dislike. They are very fast to label anyone that disagrees with them Nazis, KKK. I don't think names matter. I don't think faces matter. If you're on the wrong side, then you're all one and the same. I think that's sad and scary, but I think a lot of people actually do at least come across that way, as believing that way.
Allison Spillman called Western Albemarle Turning Point USA the Ku Klux Klan.
She's one of them that I'm talking about.
And then she doubled down on that statement with a non-apology apology
Right.
that worsened the situation. And that Ku Klux Klan comparison for at-large school board member Allison Spillman was centered on the fact that Victoria Cobb of the Family Foundation, she's the president of the Family Foundation, was a speaker at Turning Point USA in Western Albemarle High School. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Victoria Cobb is. I don't think very few people in the world know who Victoria Cobb is.
I'm sure in her town.
Everyone knows who Erika Kirk is. With her husband being assassinated in such visible capacity, in such political capacity, political fashion.
Yeah.
Erika Kirk
fallout.
Erika Kirk has been martyred. She is the Mother Teresa of her respective movement. To the point that Erika Kirk was at the State of the Union on Tuesday and was legitimately one of the people that the president of the Free Union looked at, addressed, pointed to, and offered glowing commentary about while the camera and the world was presented on her face. If what Jay said this morning on the morning show with Kata Cuff saying, we're waiting on confirmation, but the processes are in place for that.
And you better bet that the whoever's advising Turning Point USA at Western Albemarle High School, like you said, knows the processes now, and the same difficulties that came across with the previous guest will be sidestepped.
Put this in perspective for us viewers and listeners. We're trying to. This is like a step or two below Donald Trump speaking at Western Albemarle High School. And it's not from the significance of the speaker per se, but we're talking about the speaker per se, Erika Trump, being on the tip of our tongues and the news cycle. Erika Kirk. And in that, who did I say?
Trump.
Okay. Erika Kirk being in the news cycle so prevalently. Stacey Baker Patty is watching the program, her photo on screen. Oh, we need a photo for Stacey Baker Patty. She says UVA routinely hosts speakers of all walks of life, different ideologies, etc. If people do not want to hear her, do not go. I could see that they may ask the event to be held after school simply due to possible scale of attendance and as such such possible disruption to the school day, but she should be allowed to speak. I agree she should be allowed to speak.
I agree she should be allowed to speak too, but isn't this just set up for TPUSA kids? I mean, I don't know anything about how these things are set up. Is anyone allowed to enter?
That's a great question. I also think that Erika Kirk, if she is in fact speaking at Western Albemarle High School, it should be done after school too. This should be done with security measures in place.
Well, I'm sure she'll have security measures in place, but I think it's sad that we have to protect a woman, a mother of children, going to a school to talk to people. I mean, does anybody find that absolutely insane?
Well, of course it's insane. It's despicable.
Yeah.
It's gross. But her husband was murdered.
I know that.
Recently. And extremely visible. Do we know an assassination of more visible significance than that?
I can't think
of late? I mean, what do we put in an assassination of more visible significance? What comes to mind?
Yeah.
And it's so recent. You know, Chad Wood watching the program, he says, Patty, send the picture. Send the picture to them, Chad Wood says. Vanessa Parkhill says, the presence of Erika Kirk will be triggering to many in Albemarle County. Carol Thorpe highlights that Larry Sabato and his foundation recently had Nancy Pelosi speak, and Carol Thorpe says Nancy Pelosi slithered in and out of Charlottesville this week to receive an award from Larry Sabato at the UVA Center of Politics, and no one protested her.
Oh, and that was a crazy accolade they bestowed on her, too.
We're efforting Larry Sabato for the I Love CVille show and are currently in communication with his right-hand person, his scheduler. It appears scheduling Larry Sabato is akin to trying to schedule Barack Obama to come on the show. But I'm still going to effort Larry Sabato on the program because I want you, the viewer and listener, to see that we are equal opportunity hosts here. We had the chair of the Albemarle County Republican Party yesterday, Philip Reese. We're going to go with Larry Sabato next. I'd say he leans left.
Yeah, we have no problem.
No problem who we do.
People that lean left don't like us very much.
I don't think that's true. I just don't understand why someone would say that on a talk show.
You don't think that's true?
No. Jim Hinchley's a Democrat. He leans left.
I didn't say everyone.
He's watching the program and texting me and making the program better.
Well, obviously not everyone. I mean, there are...
A good rule of thumb in broadcasting or content creation, and obviously we're doing this on the fly, is to not knock your own content.
I'm not knocking it.
The comments are coming in faster than I can keep up with here. Pelosi also ripped by Trump on Tuesday for insider stock trading.
I mean, everyone basically believes it.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not.
To the point where Elizabeth Warren got up out of her seat and passionately round of applause Trump.
That's
the only time the Democrat, outside of the USA hockey team, and not all the Democrats got up and cheered the USA hockey team. Trump and the insider trading thing, we got to drop a hammer on insider trading with Congress. The Democrats got out of their seat and rounded applause there. Whether it was authentic or not, or whether it was like, we better get up here and clap because we don't want the cameras to see us sitting down because then we're going to be perceived to be insider traders. Maybe it's that. But Elizabeth Warren was pounding her hands together so hard in support that I thought she was going to leave her palms black and blue. We're talking Erika Kirk potentially to Western Albemarle High School. That's wild. I would love to have official confirmation on that. All right, let me get back to Jim Hinchley's text. This is about Craig Kent. He said, my point on the Craig Kent text messages, he said, Kent's lawyers do not have absolute immunity for their filing. They are accountable to proceed in good faith with factual allegations to be made after reasonable investigation. There can be sanctions if the complaint is not filed in good faith. My point is just that absolute immunity does not exist. I have no knowledge of what's in the complaint, but would certainly assume the lawyers are proceeding in good faith. Me too, Jim. Then he says, and this is above my pay grade here, 8.01-271.1, the signature of an attorney or party constitutes, Jesus, Jerry. The signature of an attorney or party constitutes a certificate by him that, 1, he has read the pleading motion or other paper, 2, to the best of his knowledge, information, and belief formed after reasonable inquiry, and is well grounded in fact and is warranted by existing law or a good faith argument for the extension, modification, or reversal of existing law, and 3, it is not interposed for any improper purpose such as to harass or to cause unnecessary delay or needless increase in the cost of litigation. The last text from Mr. Hinchley, and I respect him tremendously. I hope he knows that. I think he does. If a pleading motion or other paper is signed or made in violation of this section, the court, upon motion or upon its own initiative, shall impose upon the person who signed the paper or made the motion, a represented party, or both, an appropriate sanction, which may include an order to pay to the other party or parties the amount of the reasonable expenses incurred because of the filing, the pleading, motion, or other paper, or making the motion, including reasonable attorney fees. I would be willing to bet, and I think Jim would agree with this, and the viewers and listeners would agree with this, and I think John Blair would agree with this, Deep Throat would agree with this. I have called and analyzed the alleged white-collar racketeering at UVA as closely as anyone. We were the first on this talk show to use the terminology alleged white-collar racketeering in RICO. And that later materialized in courtrooms. I said, this sounds like white-collar racketeering to me, allegedly. And that's what they're pursuing. John Blair then highlights the same, is it code? Am I using the right terminology, gentlemen? You guys are smarter than me. 8.01-271.1. Here's the link. You can read subsection B on air, and I think it would be informative for your viewers and listeners. Literally is sending the same, is it code? I don't know.
State code?
I don't think it's state code. That Jim Hingley is sending. Code of Virginia. All right, next topic here at 121. Is that Brackney?
Let's see.
This is wild what I'm about to tell you guys about former police chief Brackney.
Yeah.
Is it Brackney? Mm-hmm. We had this on Wednesday. We didn't get to it. It's Virginia code. Thank you, Jim. You guys are much smarter than me. We had this on Wednesday. We didn't report it on Wednesday. We had this on Thursday. We didn't report it on Thursday because we had Phil Reese. And I thought Phil Reese, the Albemarle County Republican Committee chairman, did a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. He did a really good job at humanizing the efforts of what Albemarle County Republicans are trying to do moving forward. And he's just like a normal dude. He's a small business owner, has a wife and 3 kids that are Albemarle County Public School students. He's just a normal guy.
Yeah, he's not a fanatic. He's not out there.
Yeah.
He's not on the fringes espousing strange ideas. I appreciate him. He's down to earth, grounded, and thoughtful speaker. I'm glad to have him.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy. He's worked 40 hours in the first week for free. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. And he's like, we're going to try to make the party about keeping more dollars in the pocket. This is kind of pretty much what I've been saying on the talk show all along. The Albemarle County Republican Committee's focus should be pretty much this. I've been saying this for 6 months. I think that's what they're doing now. They listen to the talk show. Distance yourself from Trump. Tell Albemarle County our mission is to make sure government is more responsible with spending. And our focus is to keep more of tax dollars in your pockets as opposed to government's pockets that are spending nilly-willy. The budget proposed to the Board of Supervisors on Wednesday by County Executive Jeff Richardson, more than $700 million, a 13.5% increase over last year. 13.5% increase. That's nauseating. 13.5% increase. Albemarle County, $724 million to run. Interesting little tidbit came out of that presentation. For every unit of housing, $1 is collected by Albemarle County, but $1.32 is spent on infrastructure in Albemarle County. I'll say that again. For every unit of housing in Albemarle County, $1 of tax is collected, $1.32 is spent. I'll let you unpack that. Let's go to Brackney here. I had this Wednesday. I didn't relate Wednesday. I didn't relate it yesterday because Phil Reese. Here's Brackney. Jeez Louise. This is the former police chief of Charlottesville City. She was fired by former city manager Chip Boyles. Chip Boyles was always sharply dressed. I love when Chip Boyles used to wear bow ties. Chip Boyles is the definition of like a Southern gentleman. He had like a kind of like a Southern drawl, had bow ties and seersucker suits, all shucks kind of guy, smart guy. Big fan of Chip Boyles. He fired Brackney. Mm-hmm. Brackney, in her confirmation hearing to be the next Jackson, Mississippi police chief, said this about the Charlottesville Police Department. Are you ready for this, Judah?
Yeah, I think so.
Quote, and there's a video we could have played. There's a video of this, but we couldn't download the video to play it for you. So I'm going to read verbatim, quote, what she said. Quote, Not only did I discipline officers, I fired 10 officers from the Charlottesville Police Department for excessive force, domestic violence, sexual violence, theft. They were circulating nude photos of women they were having sex with on our city phones. They had threatened to kill 2 other officers. They threatened to kill me and said they wanted God to sort it out, end quote. Then she makes a joke about this when someone said that was confirming her as the Jackson police chief. They're like, how did you deal with this? And she said, I walked into the police department every day, although always with my hand on my gun.
Wow.
I am going to share the link of the video in the comments section of my personal Facebook page, facebook.com/Jerry Miller Now. I encourage you to watch the video. The headline is extremely misleading. The headline says Brackney is referencing the Unite the Right rally, which is A11 and A12. That's not at all what this is about. Some moron in Jackson, Mississippi, or the Clarion Ledger misheadlined this. Instead, she's talking about what it was like to be the police chief in Charlottesville. I want to emphasize this because Chief Kachis watches the show. I just shared the link in the comment section of my personal Facebook page, facebook.com/Jerry Miller Now. I will share this in the comment section of the I Love CVille Facebook page. I don't agree with that, Janice Boyce Trevelyan, that the left doesn't care for my talk show. I hear from Democrats and left-leaning individuals just as much as I hear from conservatives. In fact, I probably hear more from Democrats and liberals about what we say on this talk show than I do conservatives. It's just a numbers game, if you consider the population.
I suppose.
It's the top media platform locally. Consider who lives here and the content we're covering. I'm also going to share Brackney's video in the Twitter thread of this show. So if you're watching on Twitter, Brackney's comment on the CVille police. Brackney's comments. All right, I just put it on Twitter. I want to emphasize on this show, these comments are not under Mike Kachis' watch. These were under her watch when she was the police department chief. Since Chief Kachis has taken over the department is run completely differently. There's no vacancies. I'm sharing it on LinkedIn here so John and the LinkedIn folks can read it. There's morale is up. Morale and trust with the community is higher. You can make a legitimate argument. This is an argument. Brackney, we don't need you to come after me here. When she was the police chief, she took over for Al Thomas, who was here for a cup of coffee, a New York Minute. I'm putting this in the comment section of the YouTube channel as well. That Brackney, when she tried to clean house, remember she had issues with the SWAT team. Vacancies were between 25 and 30%. Basically, 1 in 3 spots in the police department in Charlottesville were vacant.
Didn't she disband the SWAT team?
Yep. Remember the murders that were happening? Do we remember that, viewers and listeners? When he took the job, we were saying, why would anyone take this job?
Yeah.
Conscious, I'm saying. I just put it in the chat box of YouTube as well. Listen to what Brackney is saying about Charlottesville. This is years later. When did she get fired? Chief Brackney fired. Was it 4 years ago? September 1, 2021. Oh, yeah, because Tito Durrett was the interim chief for a while. So Police Chief Brackney was fired on September 1, 2021. So we're 4.5 years? That's 4.5 years, and she's still talking about Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Professionally, isn't the play professionally? I'm just talking out loud here. Isn't the play professionally? I have no comment on that.
You would think.
She's being confirmed as a police chief in Mississippi. Isn't the comment, professional comment, no comment? Or next question? Why is it the dirty laundry airing? Unless you're scorned.
Yeah, I think there's still some. What's the word I'm looking for? Tenderness there.
Yeah, scorn. Right? Isn't that? Are we misreading it here? All right, 1:30, and then we'll get to your comments here on the feed. Viewers in the God, we have a lot of people watching, a lot of electeds watching here. Anything that I haven't covered on the rundown, and then we'll get to the viewers' comments. I do want to highlight.
Desayuna con Gomez.
Oh yeah, Desayuna con Gomez.
Man,
Let's highlight Desayuna con Gomez.
I love the tacos at
Tacos Gomez.
And I was very hopeful for Desayuna con Gomez, but same thing with Doodles. Every time I drove by there, and I drive by there pretty often, coming down from the gas station on Pantops, and I don't know when the last time I saw either of those places open was.
So I'll offer my take on this. And the family, as I know Kevin and Miguel very well. Played a ton of racket sports with them. They're phenomenal athletes. Monticello High School graduates. They had phenomenal success with Tacos Gomez, their food truck, in the Cosner-owned parking lot that is catty corner to Cosney. Is it catty corner or just across the street? Across the street to Cosner Brothers.
Across the street, yeah.
Across the street. Cosner, Kim Cosner's calling those shots over there with that whole High Street quarter. She owns so much real estate, her family, thanks to her father over there. So they're crushing with Tacos Gomez, minting money. Our firm helped Mike and Ashley Abrams sell Moe's Original Barbecue on Ivy Road. I procured the buyer. He still owns it. His name is Derek Bond. He's a friend of mine. Mike and Ashley, a friend of mine. Tacos Gomez, a friend of mine. Known all these people a real long time. I remember when Mike and Ashley Abrams opened Moe's. They're fantastic people. Mm-hmm. Mike is now a home inspector, and Ashley's a talented realtor for Denise Ramey Real Estate. And I'm like, how are we going to sell this barbecue joint? I'm like, well, this barbecue joint's great business. Got great top-line revenue. It's got good margins. It's a well-respected brand. It's well-run. So I go through our network of friends and business associates and came to the Gomez brothers. I said, you guys want to see this? They came and kicked the tires. They were interested. They did not end up buying it. Derek Bond, who owns the Melting Pot, ended up purchasing it. He wanted to open a barbecue joint. I found out that Derek Bond wanted to open a barbecue joint from Justin Butler, who's the general manager of Three Notched Brewery and Craft Kitchen in Ix Park. I was enjoying a Minuteman or two on Minuteman Monday when that beer was $2. Gosh, the days of $2 pints. Missed those days. And I'm like, I got to figure out a buyer for Moe's. Justin's like, you should consider Derek Bond. He's looking to open a barbecue joint. Great idea. Put the deal together. Got approval for the real estate owner. Even got a lease figured out because UVA was in the process of closing on the building. They own it now, an extension. And then the Gomez brothers opened Desayuna con Gomez at the base of Pantops. We kind of scratched our head. I scratched my head because why are you going to open a restaurant right next to your food truck? You could walk from your food truck to your restaurant. Gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the benefit of the doubt is it could be like a commissary kitchen for the food truck, or you can store food truck needs at the restaurant instead of having to drive back home to Nelson County, which is a long ways away. So if you run out of something, you can make it at the kitchen at the restaurant across the street, or if you run out of plates or whatever, you just bring them over there. Never seemed to take off. Had very odd hours.
Yeah, I never saw it open.
Hours were the weirdest hours ever. Very expensive way to store stuff, having brick and mortar on a lease. And now it's closed. That shopping center evidently also has Doodle's Diner closed next to it. I hate to say this. It's just the truth. There are 11, I'm still waiting to hear officially on the 12th, additional other restaurants that are set to close locally. We won't make that announcement. They'll do. We'll talk about it after it's made official. You asked the question, my wife and I were talking about this. Put your salvage experience into perspective on Wednesday. Salvage Brewery. I love Salvage Brewery.
I thought Salvage was pretty good. Got no serious complaints. The burger was okay. Would have liked tomatoes, but
That's not the business model.
apparently not.
Well, the business model is similar to the Jack Brown's business model. Jack Brown's does not have lettuce or tomato on their burgers because that food can waste. It spoils. What they do
They
is
did have lettuce, though.
Salvage.
Yeah.
Salvage does have a lettuce, but not a tomato. You're right.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Jack Brown's, if you notice, no lettuce or tomato because it spoils. Paper plates. Your total for burger, fries, and one beer on a special night Wednesday evening was?
Pre-tip, it was $16.70.
After tip?
I tipped pretty well, so I just gave her $4 in
Called
cash.
$20?
21. It's $20.70.
$20.70. Burger, fries, beer, one.
Fries were great.
Fries are amazing. I think the
crispy.
burger's amazing.
Could have used some more salt. There's no salt on the table, but they were delicious fries. Perfect. Beer was good. I would have liked a few more options, but no complaints about the beer.
I think it's one of the best burgers in town. I think Casey and that entire team at Salvage does fantastic work. I sincerely mean it. It's like a first cousin of the Riverside burger, the Salvage burger.
Interesting.
Very similar burgers. I love that kind of burger, the flat smash burger. The fries are completely different. Riverside's more shoestring.
Yeah.
Crinkle for Salvage, right? Mm-hmm. Comes with the sauce.
Yeah. Comes
But-
with sauce and ketchup.
Judah on Wednesday on a special night. Wednesdays are a special night.
Well, yeah, you get a
Burger, fries, and a drink for $15.
yeah.
After tip, he was out the door, $20.70. He's a great tipper. A fair tip, $3 would be 20%. You're at $19.70, so a $20 bill.
Yeah.
The point of me relaying this story is on a discounted night at a brew pub for one burger, for some fries, and a beer, it's $20 on a discounted night.
Yeah.
We're at a marketplace that is entirely too saturated with restaurants at a time where cost of goods are out of control, at a time where labor overhead is out of control, at a time where rents are still escalating.
Are they ever going to stop, do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
The point is the overhead is just it's tough for just the everyday folk to say, keep up with their household bills, right? Mm-hmm. And if that's the tough part, how's the $20 Wednesday discount going to work? Let alone the breakfast business model in a nondescript shopping center that's open very strange hours, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the model is the food truck model because the food trucks are crushing it. My 2 cents. I'd like to give some love to Stanley Martin Homes. Stanley Martin Homes are dedicated to building homes that cater to each person's unique needs and lifestyles. High-quality, single-family homes, townhomes, and condominiums designed and constructed with innovative techniques that ensure exceptional efficiency and aesthetic appeal. Stanley Martin Homes. Honest, trustworthy. Stanley Martin Homes. The last topic, Jerry Ratcliffe.
Duke.
Okay. What's the line on that? Was the Duke line 9.5?
Yeah, 9.5. 9.5.
9.5.
Favorite.
9.5 is the line. So that lower third on screen. Tip-off is at 12 o'clock tomorrow. By now, I don't have to tell you this. If you're any kind of UVA fan, you're going to be glued to a television, if not at Cameron Indoor Stadium. 12 o'clock, high noon tip-off, number 1 against number 14. Duke is a 9.5-point favorite. It's going to the cookie is going to have to crumble the right way for Virginia to win. UVA is going to have to play like it played against NC State, and Duke is going to have an off afternoon. I think these are two incredibly talented teams. I think UVA is a Sweet 16 team. I think Duke is a national championship team. Duke has something that UVA doesn't have, and you know what that is? A lottery pick on its roster. The Boozer kid is arguably the best player in college basketball. Arguably. Some would say it's the Kansas swingman. Some would say it's the BYU guard. Some would say it's Boozer. Some would say it's Caleb Wilson, who's banged up. They're a lottery pick. He's a lottery pick. Those guys I mentioned are lottery picks. UVA doesn't have that. UVA has something that Duke doesn't have, more depth. More depth. Duke has something that UVA doesn't have, home court advantage. Arguably the best home court advantage in college basketball. The cookie's going to have to crumble the right way. Duke slightly off and UVA on. Regardless, it's 12 o'clock tomorrow and UVA's a 9.5-point underdog. The last topic on the show is Jerry Ratcliffe. He's a friend of mine, one of my mentors. I got a job at his sports department when I was a rising third year at the University of Virginia. Sat next to Jerry Ratcliffe for years. Much of the stuff I learned from Jerry Ratcliffe I use today within my firm, which is 18 years old in May. He's recently transitioned, and we're helping him with this, our consultancy, from a free website to a paywall subscriber model. If you want to create quality news, and he's creating quality UVA sports coverage, the best possible, the only way that's sustainable is if people pay for it. Mm-hmm. If you want UVA sports coverage that's written by bots and artificial intelligence like Sports Illustrated is using, they legitimately have been, it's proven that Sports Illustrated is covering athletics with artificial intelligence. Sad. Then you can get it that way for free. But if you want interviews with Craig Littlepage, he's got a podcast on his platform now, Jerry Ratcliffe, an interview with former UVA athletics director Craig Littlepage that talks about the behind-the-scenes playbook of what he had to do to hire Tony Bennett. Artificial intelligence can't do that. The coverage Ratcliffe offers is coverage that is worth $8 a month if you're a UVA sports fan. And I'm proud to have our firm associated with his content production. So I would encourage you, viewers and listeners, to consider supporting Jerry Ratcliffe with an $8 a month subscription because he's outputting content that cannot be duplicated by artificial intelligence and content, frankly, that's not found anywhere else. Jerry Ratcliffe and JerryRatcliffe.com. That's the talk show. We went an hour and 15 minutes straight. I hope you like what we're doing here, viewers and listeners. I don't think you're getting this anywhere else. In fact, I know you're not getting this anywhere else. Listen, really, you're not. Philip Dow said, my wife and I had a burger each and fries for $15 at Brothers. I think they have the best burgers. Is that Brothers Bar and Grill, Philip Dow? That's next to the old porn shop.
Yeah.
Is that Brothers by the porn shop?
Didn't that used to be
Knipe?
Knipe?
Yeah. Knipe Brothers. A lot of people don't know this, but Brothers Bar and Grill is for sale. A lot of people don't know this. A Squared Pizza is for sale.
Wow.
Any Argos in the Forest Lake Shopping Center just open? A Squared Pizza is for sale. Philip Dow says he absolutely loves our show. Georgia Gilmer is watching the program, and she says, what a bait and switch by that Clarendon news outlet. Interesting bait and switch headline. Why would Brackney be commenting on the 2017 Unite the Right rally? Al Thomas was police chief at the time. She was hired in 2018. I thought the same, Georgia Gilmer. Great comment. The headline is so misleading. But still, why is Brackney commenting about Charlottesville? And Janice Boyce Trevelyan highlights this. When Mike Kochis was on your show, Mike Kochis did not say a single bad thing about Brackney.
I haven't heard him say a single bad thing about anybody.
I don't think he said a bad thing about anyone.
From former employers to current employers to, I talked to him about Brackney off air when he was here in the office, and he was he was exactly the same. He's not hiding anything behind a facade of geniality when he comes on the show. He's genuinely a decent guy.
I really hope
appreciate that about him.
Amen. I really hope Mike Kochis hears this. He watches the program from time to time. When Chief Kochis was on the show and I brought up Chief Brackney and Chief Brackney getting the Jackson job and her throwing shade on Charlottesville, he says, I got nothing but respect for Chief Brackney.
Yep.
And it came up off air, and we won't reveal the insides and outs off air. And he said the same thing, and to Judah's point, same person on camera and off camera. And here Brackney is ripping her former employer, Charlottesville, for anyone who can hear airing the dirty laundry. And then, someone's going to spin this against us. Mr. Gathers, I hope you don't spin this against us, sir. But someone's going to spin this against us about, Chief Kochis and Chief Brackney, et cetera, et cetera. That's not what's happening. We're relaying what we saw. Juan Sarmiento, thank you for watching the program. All right. That's the show. We got to go make some money. Judah Wickhauer, Jerry Miller, the I Love CVille Show. Enjoy your weekend. So long, everybody.